I'm Film Commissioner Tim Clark for Behind the Camera. Normally, Cindy Abbott Letro, our host, is the one that is introducing the guests, the significant guests. Today, I actually have the privilege of interviewing her because we are at the Buffalo Dreams Film Festival, and she just got this major award, which we're really excited to talk about.
Not only is Cindy Abbott Letro an amazing advocate for filmmaking in the Buffalo-Niagara region, she has shown her tremendous love for Buffalo and Western New York as an amazing community volunteer. Our community is profoundly grateful for her service to the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra, the Birchfield Penny Art Center, the Community Foundation of Greater Buffalo, Young Audiences of Western New York, and so many other organizations in this community that are too numerous to mention. She is currently chair of the Buffalo-Niagara Film Commission. She has been recognized as a New York State Woman of Distinction by the New York State Senate and has been inducted into the Western New York Women's Hall of Fame. It is our pleasure to ask Cindy Abbott Letro to join us to accept this award.
We were mentioning about the Talking Proud campaign starting in the mid-'80s, and really, when I came to Buffalo at that same time, the Natural had taken place, and I saw how beautiful the different locations. I mean, it was pretty amazing here. The reason they stayed and so much of that film was shot here is they didn't need to go to an Iowa cornfield. We had that in Eden. We had the water. We had all kinds of things. So that's when we started working back when Jimmy Griffin was mayor, and during County Executive Giambra's term, we established officially the film office. And really, I've gotten credit here tonight, but I think that Tim and Rich, and those are the faces of people that are really working and making the connections. And the mayor has been somebody that has never stopped in his support for the film industry. So many of the organizations I represent or try to help are the arts, because usually they're the people that are underserved and they're always has a problem raising money. But really making films is an art. And for all of you, you know how hard it is. Most of you do it in addition to other things. And Greg is a perfect example with his wife and his daughter. They have that love and they work nonstop to make this happen. So it's really edifying to me to see that finally these things are all starting to really click. The fact that this what you've been doing, Greg, of how many films that you got here, it shows that you really lit a fire. So I thank you for honoring me, but it's the part of all of this, and I appreciate it, and let's just hope that it continues to do very, very well. Thank
you. So Cindy, this was quite a significant award that you received, and for all of your work in the film community. What actually transpired, and how did it all happen? Because you really are the person who began this journey of filmmaking in Western New York.
There was a film commission before Tim Clark. I'm not sure.
I know there was. I do know that.
I feel a little odd you switching the things on me here. Don't do this too well because I'll be out of a job.
I doubt that.
Well, it started really when I came to Buffalo. It was after the Natural, and so much had been shot of that film in Buffalo, and it just started making me think about, well, why can't we do more films here? Because they ended up staying here a lot longer than they thought, because we had so many different locations. Plus, we had so many wonderful actors. If you remember, Studio Arena Theater was still going on, Irish Classical. And so we tried to capitalize on the success of the Natural. And really, under Jimmy Griffin, there was one under the city. And then when things changed in that office. It sort of took a lull. But when County Executive Jambra came in, he put the funds together and created the film office, which then we had someone before you.
Right,
but
sure.
then you came in, and you've been doing this for how many years now?
Well, it'll be 17 years.
Wow. So really, and the success, I have to give you kudos, Tim, because you sort of took all the pieces and things and put it together, and you have such a good way of convincing people they need to do what you want them to do, that you really took the ball and ran with it.
Well, thanks for saying that, but again, it was you, I think, that gave all the community, really, the opportunity to share our great community on film, right, throughout the world.
Well, what's great, and of course the award that I got tonight was really for community service, and what better way to bring the community together. The people that make a film are a community. There's so many different things that they do together. And this community has survived and flourished in spite of many terrible things that have happened to it. It still seems to really have a very optimistic and a positive way of going about things. I do remember friends of the community, like Bill Fichtner, who's a wonderful actor that came from here. You and me and a group of legislators got together when we really started talking about this state, helping us, with the film credit that makes it so much easier to make films.
It's funny because going back to your really great history at AM Buffalo on WKBW here in Buffalo. You were the co-host of that show, and you got to interview lots of filmmakers, lots of actors and actresses. You got to see sort of a real inside view of The Natural and Best Friends and, all of those kinds of movies that came through here. Was it I kind of look back and I think, man, this should be more frequent, right? That's probably what was floating around in your head.
Well, I agree, because we have so much here that could, if you look at it in the right way, or if you get the people that are making the films to come and see what we have, as well as I do, that the way that you get many of the filmmakers to come back to Buffalo is they're blown away about the generosity of this community.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That we really always want to put our best foot forward. And certainly the financial credits that they get in making a film, that's probably number one.
Right.
But if it's like this in deciding between states or locations, and they think about how they were treated the last time they were in Buffalo, they'll come back. I mean, Jonathan Sanger is a great example in making Marshall. When he did the Cabrini story and shot here for a whole summer, really, part of it was that he knew that through the Film Commission and you and Rich Wall, you could make it easier for them. If they needed a street shut down, we were able to do that. The mayor and the county executive, really, they paved the way. They tell people, we support this, we want to make it happen, and the people follow. So it's really been a wonderful, what for me makes me feel good is that we had this idea and we were able to make it come true. And right now, it's like things are crazy. They're booming here.
It really is booming, and I have to say, as you pointed out, the architecture of this city, the friendliness of the people. I mean, it's really quite a special place. You met your husband, Fran, here.
That's
you
right.
Really, fell in love with this town because you weren't from here, but you sure are from here now, right? So
no, and I think so many people, this award and the people that have showed up for this film festival, the Dreammakers Film Festival, Greg Lambertson is a perfect example. He, his wife, his daughter, they work so hard on this to put it together, to get their dream. They actually get other people to sort of see it, and they share it. It's a whole bunch of people that have different dreams all coming together, and I just think there's something very special about this region, about Buffalo, about the suburbs, about this region, that bad things happen, and we live through them, and we rise to the occasion, and we're just we're
a city of good neighbors.
We really are. It's not just a Chamber of Commerce slogan or a bumper sticker or something. And you're right. I think true character of a community is, revealed through adversity, like we've dealt with the top shooting, with the snowstorms, and all of the craziness that has gone on in this town periodically. But the one thing that does stand strong is the arts community here. And you're very involved, not just in filming, but in the AKG project and so many other art galleries and art things, including Art on Wheels, as I go back a few years. What is your commitment, or tell us a little bit about your commitment to the art community and the creative class?
Well, the same sort of thing. We have wonderful artists that have come from Buffalo. We've had wonderful architects that have worked in Buffalo. There's something was once told to me, too, about the fact that we have wonderful musicians, not just the BPO, but the wonderful jazz and rock, all of that, is that when you are in a community that for a good part of the year is, sort of cold, when you can't go outside, it causes you to go inside and to find creative ways to spend your time. And I also think that having wonderful music here, having a great university system, and our colleges, that they all sort of work together. It's that sense of community again. Art and music and architecture and history, all of those things seem to work together to make us better.
Isn't it funny when you think of that and, that whole basic overview of the arts community here, that filming is actually part of it too, because it never really was until you came along and got people thinking in a different way.
Well, it's a different way of creating art.
Right.
It really is, no matter if it's a horror movie or a comedy. A history movie, all of those things, a documentary. It's an art. In shooting it, in casting it, in finding the right location and coming up with a script, then in editing it and getting it on the screen.
It's fun, I think, to see our community on the big silver screen, right? And it's not just shown in theaters, but now it's streaming everywhere on these new platforms. And it's really become a worldwide sort of stage for us.
Well, for instance, your relationship with Guillermo del Toro. He lives in Toronto.
Right.
He's one of the greatest filmmakers alive today, and he loves Buffalo.
He does. He's talked about moving here, so we'll see.
The other art that we didn't mention is the fact that we have fabulous food here. So, great restaurants.
No, we hear that over and over.
Movie makers like to eat.
They love to eat, that's for sure. Well, this was a privilege to be with Cindy Abbott Letro, really the creator of the film industry here in Western New York.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I would. Please, let me say, I would go that far. But anyway, it was a real pleasure to see you get the award tonight, but also to work with you all these years, and I hope we get to do this for many more years to come.
I do too. Now, don't take my day job.
No, I promise I won't. Now, you should do the honors of signing off. What do you think? Because I'm not good at this.
Well, wait a second. I was in being interviewed mode. We'll see you next month on the next edition of Behind the Camera.
Hey, that's pretty good, I'll tell you.